बैठे 2 मिनट अभी आइए। कोई बात नहीं। पूछते कैसे गुड मॉर्निंग, shall we start? Because somebody has written yes, I believe that you are hearing my voice. If I am not audible at any time, you can let me know. Okay. So we start with the last session of the day, and the topic is already on your screen, that is forensic science laboratory. Now this is a topic that is informative and not educative. इसका मतलब ये है कि अगले हाफ एन आवर के अंदर तुम्हें थोड़ी इंफॉर्मेशन पता चलेगी जो तुम्हारे लिए इंटरेस्ट का सब्जेक्ट होगा, अदरवाइज इसका कोई एजुकेटिव वैल्यू नहीं. As far as exams are concerned, in practical somebody may ask as to which sample has to be sent where. Apart from it, in theory, when we come to the last section, that is polygraph, narco analysis and brain mapping, either of these three, they can be asked as a short note. So if you look at from medicine point of view, this is just an informative topic. We should be aware as to what happens in a forensic science lab. So to start with, what actually is meant by forensic science, which is something which everybody hears day in and day out. और अभी तो घर पे रह के शायद बहुत सारी मूवीज भी देख रहे होंगे, कुछ क्राइम की मूवीज होंगी या फिर थ्रिलर मूवीज होंगी, तो उसमें भी कहीं ना कहीं फोरेंसिक साइंस लैबोरेटरी की बात आती है. So to start, what is forensic science? It is defined as application of natural sciences. It can be anything like physics, chemistry, biology, for the purpose of law and administration of justice. जैसे forensic medicine है, where you apply medical knowledge for the purpose of law and administration of justice. वैसे forensic science है, where you apply the natural sciences. Now, how are they applied? Let's see with the examples. First example. पुलिस को किसी विक्टिम की बॉडी पे से कोई सस्पिशियस फाइबर मिला. Now it will take that fiber to a forensic science lab and it will try to get it examined and find out कि क्या ये फाइबर अटैकर के कपड़ों से मैच होता है या नहीं. ठीक है. This is where it is application of physics for helping the law. दूसरा इंस्टेंस है जो हम पोस्टमार्टम में देखते हैं. ये कोई पॉइजनिंग का पेशेंट आया, हमने उसका स्टमक का सैंपल लेके एफएसएल में भेजा. Forensic science will help us find out which type of substance has been consumed or what is the poison. That is application of chemistry for the purpose of law. Third example for the use of biology to help in aiding justice is there is a case of sexual assault and you find some suspicious stains. Now, whether those stains contain a sperm, and if it is sperm, to which person does it belong? So that is use of biology for helping out the law. So just as forensic medicine is application of medical knowledge to help in administration of justice, forensic science is application of natural sciences to help in administration of Before going forwards, let us just revise something which is pertinent to forensic science lab. That is evidence. This is different from what we have learned in first chapter. There we go and speak out something which is taken as an evidence. This is something substantial or of physical type which can be seen and used to help in administration of justice. So evidence can be anything which is used to determine the truth of a statement. कोई भी चीज जब किसी की सच्चाई को कंफर्म करने के लिए यूज की जाती है, that all is evidence. It can be physical or it can be even trace or in minute amounts. Physical word is used when we can clearly see the object. It can be blood, hair, fibers, semen. Now we will restrict ourselves to the forensic science lab only. Now these are in quantities which can be seen by the naked eyes. Other one is a trace evidence, which is in such a small quantity that sometimes you have to have something special to perceive it. Example, a single strand of hair, a latent fingerprint, just a small speck of blood, which is in so small a quantity that it can skip off the natural vision. But from forensic point of view, even a single strand of hair or a minute trace evidence can be helpful. It can also include fibrous substances like human hair, animal hair, synthetic fiber, vegetable fiber, or a mineral fiber, and particulate matter like blood or a fingerprint. Coming to what is a forensic science laboratory. It's a place or a lab that undertakes the job of examining these forensic evidences and analyzing them. Now, after their analysis, they would be useful for administration of justice. So the place where principles of forensic science are used for examination of evidence and their analysis is basically what is a forensic science laboratory. Our hospital or a medical college doesn't have a forensic science laboratory. Now coming to what is the scenario in India. Okay. What we see in most of the movies or in the serials on television is far from reality what exists in India. All forensic science laboratories are controlled or run by either central government or the state government. Every state in India has got its own FSL, at least one. Whereas there are many states which have got more than one forensic science laboratory. It depends what is the demand. To my knowledge, in Gujarat, there are three major laboratories. One is in Junagadh, one is in Surat, and one is in Ahmedabad. There is a Central Forensic Science University in Gandhinagar. That is a separate thing. Otherwise, for routine purposes, you have got Surat, Ahmedabad, and other cities. Few of them have got a local laboratory run by the state government, but they don't do all the investigations. One of them is at Baroda. Coming to what are the broad functions of a forensic science laboratory. First is they provide an incriminating evidence for the guilty. अपने एग्जामिनेशन और एनालिसिस से वो ऐसा एविडेंस देते हैं कि जिसको रेफ्यूट नहीं किया जा सकता. Now this is done by examining, comparing or evaluating a physical evidence, and by the side establishing a link between the crime, the suspect, and the victim. Second function is protection of innocent persons. By doing all the examination and analysis, if no connection is there between the crime victim and the suspect, at least the person who has been suspected of a crime can be relieved of. So their examination and analysis can incriminate an offender and can even release an offender. Third function of a forensic science lab is to train police officers, crime scene officers, forensic scientists, lawyers, judges, and doctors. This is also a part of forensic science lab not done by forensic science labs in India. One of the lab that does all this training is the National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science at Rohini in New Gujarat. Forensic Science University also does the same. Next is, what are the services that the forensic science laboratories provide? Broadly, you can put them into three different categories. One is providing a clinical service, second one is a pathological service, and third one is a laboratory service. Now, before going further, if you would have seen the serial CID, there is one doctor who does everything. If you have watched Hollywood movies, even there you find a single lab where autopsy is also being done and chemical analysis is also being done. I don't know how many of you have seen it. Recently, I saw a web series that is Asur, ASUR. I don't know which OTT platform it was, but all those who have seen that series, you would have noticed that the same person is investigating crime also, doing chemical analysis also, and doing autopsy also. Now, what is being shown in these movies or serials is far from reality in India. In India, you don't have such practices. Yet, a forensic science lab should provide all these three facilities: clinical, pathological, and laboratory services. All Western FSL, they have got all three services within one lab. Therefore, if you see Hollywood movies, what they show there is in concordance with the practices followed there. What I have seen in the serials in India, and I believe that what they show is basically what they have learned from watching Hollywood movies, rather than really going to the grassroots level and finding out how FSLs work in our country. So I'll tell you what is done in our country. Apart from clinical, pathological, or laboratory services, these laboratories have an exhibit room. That is, all evidence that is brought there will be stored under lock and key. It also stores the equipments and chemicals for testing them. It provides training through workshops, and it has got a very good library. This should be there in a good office. Starting with the clinical services. An FSL that provides clinical services, it will have examination of living victims, that is victims of assault, sexual crimes, and drunkenness. This is something which we do in a medical college or a doctor does in a PHC or a CMC in India. Second is, clinical services include examination for age estimation. Somebody who malingers and says that he is mentally ill. Now, the first two lines, whatever examination are listed here, in India, these are done by people like us who are in forensic medicine or MBBS doctors who are posted in PHCs or CHCs. These services are not there in FSL in India. Next services that FSLs provide are pathological services. This include examinations of dead and investigations like histopathology. This is also being done by us only. You have seen the postmortems that we do in the medical colleges. Ideally, in Western world, these are all done in the forensic science. Third one is a laboratory service, which includes serology, fingerprinting, ballistics, photography, etc. This is the only one which is being provided by FSLs in India. The first two services are being done by doctors in respective medical colleges or PHCs or CHCs. The last line is the truth that in India, only laboratory or the third services are provided. Any evidence, its examination or analysis is based on the simple principle of Locard's. This must have been taught to you earlier, which says that when any two objects come into contact, there is always a transfer of material from one to the other. So this is basically the principle which links the accused to a suspect and the underlying principle of crime investigation. So there are various divisions in forensic science lab. It's a huge building which has got different divisions and they cater to the different functions depending upon what is the division. So we'll see what is the list of divisions present in a or should be present in a forensic science lab. It starts from ballistics, that is, which deals with firearms and explosives. There is a biology division, toxicology division, chemistry division, computer forensics, DNA profiling. The second half is probably missing. Anyhow, it will come later. We'll start with the ballistics division. It again has got two parts, one which deals with the firearms and one which deals with the explosives. Now, whenever there is a use of a firearm, कहीं भी firearm, यानी pistol, revolver, rifle, or any other thing is being used, okay, whether it is by police or in general public, it is a matter of investigation. Now, whenever that investigation is being done, the ballistics division tries to find out the nature and type of weapon used in the crime. Okay? Suppose कहीं से बुलेट मिली है तो ये रिवॉल्वर की है या पिस्टल की है या राइफल की है. रेंज ऑफ फायरिंग, कितनी दूर से फायरिंग की गई है. लिंकिंग फायर्ड बुलेट्स एंड कार्ट्रिज केसेस विद सस्पेक्ट वेपन्स, कहीं से कोई वेपन मिला है और जो क्राइम सीन पे बुलेट मिली है, क्या वो दोनों एक, क्या वो बुलेट उस वेपन की हो सकती है या नहीं. इट ऑल्सो चेक्स कि जो वेपन पकड़ा गया है उससे एक्सीडेंटल फायरिंग हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता. And it has got something called as comparison microscope. क्राइम सीन से एक बुलेट मिला है, बुलेट के ऊपर कुछ मार्किंग्स हैं प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी. एक वेपन मिला है जो कि सस्पेक्ट है कि इसी को प्राइमरी यूज किया गया. उस सस्पेक्ट वेपन से दे विल डू ए टेस्ट फायरिंग इन एफएसएल. उससे क्या होगा कि उस टेस्ट फायर से जो बुलेट निकलेगी उसके ऊपर भी प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी मार्किंग्स आएंगे. तो क्राइम सीन पे जो बुलेट मिली है और टेस्ट फायर में जो बुलेट मिली है, उन दोनों को कंपैरिजन माइक्रोस्कोप में रख के ये देखेंगे कि दोनों पे एग्जैक्ट प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी मार्किंग्स है या नहीं. अगर है, इट मींस कि दिस इज द वेपन व्हिच हैज फायर्ड द बुलेट फ्रॉम द क्राइम सीन. कमिंग टू एक्सप्लोसिव वर्क, if there is a bomb blast, in that case also investigations are being done by the FSL's ballistic division. They examine the explosives and explosive devices and they try to reconstruct the scene of crime on the occasion. So this whole work is done by people who are expert in the ballistics at the ballistics division. Second one is the biology division. This one undertakes the examination of biological fluids. This is what either we send or the police recovers from the scene of crime. It can be blood, semen, saliva, etc. If there is a facility, it can do a histological examination of tissues, whether it is of animal or a human. It will also do the morphological examination of hairs and fibers and examination of skeletal remains for determination of origin, age, sex, stature. It depends as to what facility is available and made available to the. Third one is a chemistry division. This one does the chemical analysis. Human body में कोई poisoning suspected है, उसका analysis होगा. सीन पे से कोई fluid मिला है तो उसका analysis होगा. कोई narcotic drugs का अगर कहीं पे large quantities में मिला है जो कि नहीं होना चाहिए था, that will also be tested here whether it is the same narcotic drug which is. So all these things are being done in the chemical analysis. Third one is a toxicology division. Here you do the examination of the samples from the body which are being sent to find out a suspected poison. The techniques that they use, now this is something which every doctor should know, because there is a lot of misconception regarding finding of a poison from a FSL. Whenever there is a case of suspected poisoning, we either take a gastric lavage sample or a urine sample or a blood sample. If the person dies, we take either viscera in form of stomach wash, in terms like stomach and its contents, along with pieces of liver, kidney, and blood. Now, from all those materials which are sent to forensic science lab to find out a poison, there are different analytical techniques used. I have just listed few of them, which one should be aware as to these are the techniques which are used. One is it can be a color test. Then the commonest one done is TLC or thin layer chromatography. Third one is gas chromatography. Fourth one is HPLC, that is high precision liquid chromatography. And one is gas chromatography and mass spectro. Now there is a misconception amongst most of them whom I know, that suppose you send a sample of blood, you send it to FSL and say कि इसने कोई जहर खाया था, इसमें से आप जहर निकाल के बताओ. Now there is no limit as to the number of poisons present in this world, and there is no machine which can detect all the crores of poisons available in this world. अगर कोई मशीन ब्लड को, यूरिन को, स्टमक वॉश को टेस्ट करती है, तो मशीन में कहीं लिखा हुआ नहीं आता है कि ये पॉइजन है. The principle is, when somebody sends a sample, he has to send a list कि इसमें से कौन सा पॉइजन वो सस्पेक्ट करता. We send suppose names of 10, 12, 15 poisons that we suspect that the person might have been poisoned because of these 15 substances. FSL will run standards of only those 15 substances, and it will try to compare the results with the standards of those substances and any material that has been found in the fluid set. So in short, FSL will test only the substance, a list of which the investigator sends to them. Now, if somebody doesn't send a list, it just sends a blood, urine, or a gastric sample and say do a toxicological analysis to find out poison. What FSL does, जो routinely common poisons यूज किए जाते हैं, वो उन्हीं के स्टैंडर्ड से सेंड भेजे हुए फ्लूइड को मैच करें. उन्होंने अगर 10 स्टैंडर्ड्स को मैच करने के लिए टेस्ट रन किया है, तो रिजल्ट यही होगा कि उस फ्लूइड में, ब्लड है, यूरिन है या स्टमक वॉश है, वो 10 पॉइजन नहीं, या उन 10 में से अगर कोई एक पॉइजन पॉजिटिव आएगा तो उन 10 में से ये एक पॉइजन डिटेक्ट हुआ. इसका ब्रॉड इम्प्लीकेशन ये है कि अगर एफएसएल ने 10 स्टैंडर्ड पॉइजन्स रन किए और क्राइम के अंदर कोई 15th पॉइजन यूज किया है जो कि एफएसएल ने टेस्ट ही नहीं किया है, तो रिपोर्ट नेगेटिव दिया. एफएसएल का रिपोर्ट नेगेटिव आने का मतलब ये है कि उन्होंने जिन स्टैंडर्ड्स को टेस्ट किया वो सैंपल में नहीं. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि पेशेंट को पॉइजनिंग नहीं हुआ. जो अच्छी एफएसएल होती है वो अपनी रिपोर्ट में लिखती है कि हमने आपके भेजे हुए सैंपल को इन 8, 10 या 15 स्टैंडर्ड से मैच किया, उसमें वो पॉजिटिव नहीं आया. इस रिपोर्ट का सिर्फ इतना मतलब होता है, जो पेशेंट की डेथ हो गई है या जो पॉइजनिंग हुई है वो इन 8, 10 या 15 पॉइजन से नहीं है. means it can be something else apart from these poisonous substances. I am not sure whether you are clear on this or not. This I can explain you when we meet phase 2. Third is coming to computer forensics division. And this is usually not of much importance to us, but this is a facility that provides examination of the storage media. Okay? हार्ड डिस्क रिकवर हुई है, कॉम्पैक्ट डिस्क रिकवर हुई है, फ्लॉपीज हैं, पेन ड्राइव्स हैं, ये सब उनको एग्जामिन और एनालाइज करते हैं काम का डेटा निकालने के. This you can read it. I'll send you the PDF of the whole presentation. Another one is a DNA profiling laboratory. दुनिया भर में जहाँ इतनी सब बातें होती हैं कि इसका DNA टेस्ट करवा लेते हैं, तो वो जो सैंपल है वो FSL के DNA profiling lab में जाता है. This is the place where DNA is extracted and matched with the suspect. कहाँ करते हैं? Disputed maternity या paternity है, sexual assault है, कोई अननोन डेड बॉडी मिली है तो ये किसकी हो सकती है. इन सब जगह पे कॉमनली डीएनए प्रोफाइलिंग किया जाता है, which is done in the DNA profiling. Another division is a document division. यहाँ पे डॉक्यूमेंट्स को एग्जामिन और एनालाइज किया जाता है. क्या क्या करते हैं? एग्जामिनेशन ऑफ हैंडराइटिंग्स एंड सिग्नेचर, डिटेक्शन ऑफ फोर्जरी, डिटेक्शन ऑफ इरेज्ड एंड ऑब्लिटरेटेड राइटिंग्स. पहले किसी ने कुछ लिखा था, फिर किसी ने उसको रब करके उसके ऊपर कुछ लिखा है या नहीं, जो इंक है वो सालों पुरानी है या फ्रेश इंक है. ऑल दोस थिंग्स these are being examined and analyzed in a document. It also examines the printed matter, type skills, decipherment of invisible ink, and many such things. These are all out of the purview of medicine. Another division is a fingerprint division. This creates fingerprints which are latent and tries to match it with those of the suspects. Examines the question thumb impressions, crime scene visits for chance prints. People from this division go to crime scenes and try to find out whether there are prints present which cannot be seen by the naked eyes, make them visible, and then use them for the examination. Another division is a physics division. It undertakes the examination of substances like paint, glass, soil, fiber, metallic thread, etc. हम जो हैंगिंग के केस में अगर लिगेचर मटेरियल बेचते हैं, okay, so that will be examined by the division that is a physics. क्या ये रोप या साड़ी या दुपट्टा इतने किलो का वजन उठा सकता है या नहीं? अगर हमें वो जानना है तो उसके लिए फिजिक्स डिवीजन वो चीज पता करके. It also examines metallic seals, postal seals, wax seals, deciphering of an erased chassis and engine number of vehicles, registration plates of vehicles, and examination of tool and tire. This is not usually of our concern. Next division is serology division. This is of our concern. It determines the species of origin. जो ब्लड मिला है वो ह्यूमन है या ह्यूमन नहीं है. ठीक है, एबीओ ग्रुपिंग कर सकता है ब्लड में से भी और बॉडी फ्लूइड्स में से भी, टिश्यूज में से भी, सलाइवा में से. Any serological material found in road accidents, sexual offences, robbery, dacoity, etc. तो बॉडी फ्लूइड्स में अगर उसका कुछ सीरोलॉजी करना है तो विल बी डन बाय द सीरोलॉजी. इट इज द डिवीजन दैट एग्जामिन्स द बार बॉडी फॉर सेक्स डिटरमिनेशन. लास्ट वन इज द लाई डिटेक्टर डिवीजन. ये वो जगह है जहाँ पे ये पता करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि बोलने वाला सच बोल रहा है या झूठ. There are three things which are being used for lie detector. One is polygraph, second is brain mapping, third is narco analysis. All these three can be a short note individually in your exam. Polygraph separate, brain mapping separate, narco analysis separate. These three, though being done are not considered as evidence by ruling of Supreme Court of India. ये तीनों methods investigating agency use कर सकती है, लेकिन उसके results को कोर्ट के अंदर प्रोड्यूस करके उसे एविडेंस माना नहीं जाता है. It helps them to proceed with the investigation. इनमें से उनको जो इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी को, वो उसको इन्वेस्टिगेशन में यूज कर सकती है, बट इसमें जो रिजल्ट आता है उसको वो एविडेंस की तरह कोर्ट में पुट नहीं कर सकती. That has to be remembered for all these. We will see in short what is all these three things. So one is a polygraph. It's an instrument that simultaneously records changes in the physiological processes such as a person's heartbeat, his blood pressure, his respiration and his electrical resistance. एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जो रियल टाइम में ये चार चीजें हैं जिसका हम पॉलीग्राफ टेस्ट करना चाह रहे हैं वो रिकॉर्ड करेगा. The underlying theory of this polygraph is जब आदमी झूठ बोलता है, ठीक है, then there is a nervousness in an individual. Because of that nervousness, heartbeat increases, blood pressure goes up, there is a change in breathing and there is perspiration. Point is जब आप झूठ बोलते हो तो आपकी फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंजेस होते हैं और वो फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंजेस हो रहे हैं या नहीं वो चीज रिकॉर्ड कर जाती. The baseline for these physiological characteristics is established by asking questions whose answers the investigator knows. पहले उन सवालों को रखा जाता है जिसका जवाब पूछने वाले को खुद पता हो. okay? जैसे तुम्हारा नाम क्या है, तुम्हारा घर कहाँ है, okay? तुमने कितनी पढ़ाई की है, तुम क्या काम करते हो. पहले वो इंफॉर्मेशन बोली जाती है जिसकी नॉलेज सबको है. okay? उसके अंदर बॉडी का क्या रिस्पॉन्स है वो नोट किया जाता है. okay? Then deviation from baseline for truthfulness is taken as sign of lie. It is not a true lie detector as changes in heartbeat, blood pressure and respiration can be caused by many things. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ झूठ बोलेंगे तभी ब्लड प्रेशर चेंज होगा, तभी हार्ट बीट बढ़ेगी या तभी ब्रीथिंग चेंजेस आएंगे. बहुत सारे रीजन है जिसमें ये हो सकता है. तो जब आप कोई ऐसा सवाल पूछ रहे हो इसका आंसर कोई झूठ में दे रहा है, ठीक है, और उस टाइम उसमें ये कोई चेंजेस आ रहे हैं तो भी ये 100% श्योर नहीं है कि वो झूठ बोलने की वजह से ही, इसीलिए इसे एविडेंस माना नहीं जाता. कुछ रीजंस जहां पर बिना झूठ बोले भी ये चीजें चेंज हो सकती है वो है नर्वसनेस है, एंगर है, सैडनेस है, एम्बैरेसमेंट है. बट इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज try to record the changes when they ask a question regarding a crime and they use that change as a lead, believing कि अगर एक सवाल पूछने पर कोई abnormal deviation है तो हो सकता है कि ये झूठ बोल रहा हो. That has to be confirmed by an investigation. Second is brain mapping. It is also called as brain fingerprinting. It is based on the fact that architectural details including the structure and function of normal and abnormal human brain gets generated. Somebody has raised a hand. Now, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of how to use it. Once I finish it, then I'll take your question. There is an equipment called electrocap which is fixed on the suspect's head. Here the person is then questioned about the crime and also shown the video of the same to stimulate the brain. This is the procedure that has been used in brain mapping. This is what is theoretical. I have no personal knowledge or experience of the procedure. This is what we read as to what happens in a brain mapping session. Now, apart from his verbal replies, the computer keeps a track of his neuro impulses or the brain waves and the emitted chemical responses. Uh, I don't know what is there on this screen. Anyhow, I'll finish it off and then I'll take the questions from you. As per the principle of this brain mapping, the intensity of the brain waves shoot up whenever a question of the visual stimuli matches the information stored in the brain. This can be tracked and printed to provide a scientific evidence, and this brain mapping is considered to be more accurate than a polygraph test. Now, frankly speaking, my knowledge is only limited to what I've read regarding brain. The thing is, this again is used to find out whether something has really happened and is stored in the memory of the victim. Third one is what is called as narco analysis. शॉर्ट फॉर्म में बहुत लोग इसको नार्को वर्ड यूज करते हैं. So here what they do is they inject the drugs and move the patient to such a level of consciousness that the inhibitions are lost. और वो जानबूझ के कोई चीज छुपाना चाहेगा तो नहीं छुपा. That is what is the this narco analysis. It depresses the principle is that by use of the drugs they depress the CNS and the person loses his inhibitions. Principle is that at a very point close to unconsciousness, the person is mentally incapable of resistance to questioning and incapable of inventing falsehood. एक पॉइंट पे कॉन्शियसनेस का लेवल ऐसा आएगा कि वो कोई झूठ बना नहीं पाएगा. ठीक है, तो जो सही होगा वो ही चीज उसके मुंह से निकले. That is what is being believed. There are two drugs which are used. One is scopolamine hydrochromide and other one is sodium amytal or sodium. These are the two drugs which are used for narco analysis. This again is not taken as an evidence in court. Investigating agencies only use it to get a lead and then investigate based on this lead. So all these three things, polygraph, narcoanalysis and brain mapping, they are done by people in forensic science lab under the lie detector. This was in short the brief functions of what is being done in a forensic science laboratory. Now there was someone who had raised his hand. If there is any question, you can put it down. I'll answer it. There are more 8, 9, 10, 13 chats. All of you are busy giving your attendance. Okay, it's okay. If there is any question from anyone, he or she can put it at the last. I'll send the PDF file on your WhatsApp group. So Everyone has put up the attendance. Okay, good day.